easy to love, so easy to love, so easy to love. The Jesus in me loves the Jesus in you. The Jesus in me loves the Jesus in you. So easy, so easy, so easy, so easy to love. Than you, the Spirit in me loves the Spirit in you. So easy, so easy, so easy, so easy to love. The Jesus in me loves the Jesus in you. The Spirit in me loves the Spirit in you. So easy, so easy, so easy, so easy to love, so easy to love, so easy to love. The Jesus in me loves the Jesus in you. The Jesus in me loves the Jesus in you. So easy, so easy, so easy, so easy to love. The Holy Ghost in me loves the Holy Ghost in you. The Spirit in me loves the Spirit in you. So easy, so easy, so easy, so easy to love. The Jesus in me loves the Jesus in you. The Spirit in me loves the Spirit in you. So easy, so easy, so easy, so easy to love, so easy to love, so easy to love. The Jesus in
Good afternoon. Always forget to reach down and turn the microphone, make it live. Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services, and we would like to again welcome you to another live podcast hour stream. We try to have these on every Saturday where we give you the opportunity, those who do support this channel with your viewership, to ask me to help you with a song that you're currently learning. And then we go over those viewer requests from our viewers who do have a song, a particular style that they're looking to, if not master, at least get comfortable enough to practice comfortably. So we've got a different look on the screen today. You're getting a version of this default page. I'm always looking to keep things lively and not just have it look so stoic. I still have last week's page. I believe if I go here, for some reason it's not coming active. Oh, there we go. Why do things change on me? There we go. That's last week's page, and I need to get rid of something in the background there. And we'll let that play in the background. You don't see it that bad. It might be distracting for some, so let's turn that off. But those are the current viewer requests. For some reason my mouse doesn't want to go. There we go. To my secondary stream page. We should do that too. As always, let's go here. Okay, that kills that. And let's get rid of this. Just keep this page static for now. I have so many different, there we go, different prompts. I've got to remember to, or to remind you, let me do this. Okay. I've got to remind you too. Gotta get my mouse back on to the screen. Let's see if this works now. Yes, that is important to remind you to like the video, because that pushes me up in the YouTube algorithm. It lets this page be seen by more than just you. I've got my iPhone monitoring so I don't lose sound. Gets it seen by more than just you, and it pushes me up the actual algorithm. And so now I get a phone call. Give me a second to answer it, because it is a sorry about that. I get phone calls from time to time, and some of them I have to answer. So those are the people who are currently, and why is this changing on me? Okay, sensitive fingers here. Some people phone calls I do need to answer, because I get so many spam calls. Sometimes I feel like I'm in the mood of sparring with some of the live ones, but the ones that are robot, I don't deal with. So these are the viewers whose requests we currently have in the queue. Let's see. We don't have a full house of people watching us, so I always like to have some conversation so that give people a chance to get their notifications that I am live. So I'll have a little bit of conversation and talk. Who am I? Samuel Tolbert, Sound of Joy. I'm a retired 46 year. I'll call myself a accomplished church musician. I don't like to use the word professional because I did not attend any schools of learning for piano, organ. I had the privilege to be raised in a family of church musicians and also electronic technicians. So there was always an organ available, if not in my father's house, in my uncle's house, or my grandfather's house, because he was a former pastor, Church of God in Christ pastor. So they always, there was a B3 or C3 available to me. As a youngster, I would just practice on it, trying to remember the chords I could hear and then try to piece them out either on the home spinet piano or on my father's organ when they allowed me to. But having the ability to be in the New York City school system was where my first introduction to formal music training, not as a piano player, but as I'll say an actual flutophone, what we called it. Some may call it an actual recorder. But there I got to see notes on paper, learn what the notes look like, and then to, from there, go into high school band, jazz band, where my understanding of the placement of chords and melodies really got rounded out. Being a musician that played in the middle of the band, instrumental wise, I got to hear music to the right, to the left, and to the back, and in the front. So every time you see me play, that is the scenario I am setting up. What am I hearing on the right? What am I hearing on the left? What am I hearing behind me, around me, in front of me? The conductor, which would be the person who would be conducting the music. So everything that I do is based upon an understanding of the theory behind music and an appreciation for the sound of music. I want to welcome those who are watching from my Facebook page. I did post a link there. You're always welcome to come over to the YouTube side of things and ask your questions or your comments, because I do take both. Because again, I'm not a know-it-all, but I am what I like to call myself accomplished. I can listen to music and piece what I hear based upon theory, which is why you see me stress on all of my videos. If you're going to learn a song, find the major scale first. With all the different scales that are out there, find the major one first, because technically 80% of your song's melody is going to come from the major scale, and then you incorporate the other scales that all play a part into the formation of chords. And you don't see that on this page. I'm going to have to add that, but I've been going with the theory: melody, chords, and progressions. And then there's no song technically from a church standpoint that you will not be able to learn. And from an R&B, jazz standpoint, depending upon again what that song is, you have a better understanding of what's happening musically. Then you sit down to your instrument of choice, and you will be able to decipher that. Decipher that. There we go. Decipher. So that's what I do with this podcast. Is I give you, first of all, an opportunity to see in practice, you might say, what I preach or teach. We don't put it that way. I like to call it instruct. And then you get to ask your questions that I could possibly answer. And if I don't know the answer, I have ChatGPT as my backup. So, and again, I've always welcomed those who do come. If you want to, if you feel to, let me know who you are. I have that in my comments section so that I can recognize you for coming on to the stream and recognize where you're from, because we have, I'll call it students or viewers from around the world. I think the furthest viewer I have is in Austria. That's 28. They normally come in once they get the, because it's about a 12-hour time difference there, so it may be close to midnight there. But then we have them from Africa, China, Japan, Brazil. Every time I look at my YouTube analytics, I see another country added on that someone has been able to come into this sphere, YouTube, and view a video that may have given them an insight to the type of music that I have been playing for a better part of 60 years, off and on. I wasn't playing it when I first sat down. Again, I was not a child prodigy. I did not sit down and all of a sudden started playing like some of these child prodigies I see now on YouTube. But I was one that had to work at it. And once I got the formula, all of a sudden, every song that I couldn't play, I could at least sit down, listen to it 2 or 3 times, and I generally say within a half an hour, I'll hear what the song is doing from the intro to the last chord. So that's where we are. Again, welcome those who are watching, those who will be seeing the replay. So let's go to our viewer requests. As you see them right there, and let's go back in time and go to the ones that we did not get to last week. That's 10 days ago, I see. Could you do a tutorial? I was converted by Willie Morganfield. Didn't I do that one? Yeah, I would have done that one, I believe. Or did I not get to that one? Okay, so let's look up. I was converted by Willie Morganfield. If I did get to it, there will be a prompt in the YouTube would have showed me that I did view it. Let's go back here, and again, I'll let you hear some of it. Last week, I think we got away with it. YouTube didn't come after me. The previous 2 streams they did though. They say we hear music on your stream that you don't have permission to use. So, but I left it up so that I can let the people who that made the request see the actual process. Okay, so we did not hear this one. I'm looking at it. I always look for the if there's a live if there's a recording, because that's always going to have the most accurate notes versus a live. So I do see where I did not hear it. So let me first mute the audio so you don't hear it. Okay. And if it's one that I can let it air, then I will do that. Let me hear what it sounds like.
If you're a man who makes at least 150 grand a year and you're still embarrassed to take your shirt off at the pool, I will get you shredded like a god for this summer, or you won't pay a dime. This is very specifically for men over 30 who make at the bare minimum 150.
Got to get through the ad. Let's just skip the ad. Okay. Okay. B flat. Okay, I'm gonna let you hear some of this because it is a traditional type song. Okay, so B flat is the key that it's in. So let me just rearrange my Chordy app. So for those who do view chords, being comfortable doing that, and I'm going to let you hear some of this so that you will see the process. Now this song, oh, welcome, Darius. North Carolina. Trust that you are safe in your area of North Carolina. I was watching the YouTube videos of what's happening there and the weather conditions. So I trust that you're safe where you are. So this song, it's gospel in that it's the old gospel, I'll put it like that. The gospel song that has a R&B template. This is where the 1, 4, 5, and the 6 terminology comes in which helps you to see where the chords are going to be. So I'm going to let you hear some of it. I don't think I'm going to get caught on this one, but who knows? We'll see. Here's the song, The Day I Was Converted.
The day I was converted.
So we're going to stop right there because already in the intro, it's very generic, very basic, not as commercialized as what you hear in a lot of the songs today. So, and there's where the number system, I'll talk to it. I don't teach it because I never learned the number system, but I can talk to it from this standpoint. The B flat has, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 again, or 8 if you're continuing from the bottom. And I always stress that you want to hear the major scales when you're learning a song. I'm going to have to adjust the camera over there so that another camera I have set up. So what you want to hear is where the chords are coming from. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see the chord name there, I believe. There we go. And then back to 1. So these chords are going to be generic for this type of song. That'd be the 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. So from a number system standpoint, that's where you hear the 1, 6, 1. So again, the number system is a template. It is a guide for the musician to be able to know at what particular part of the song, the camera's here, what particular part of the song are the chords supposed to change. In gospel music, that's just a basic rule because it can go so many different ways in gospel music when you start to add passing tones. But when you're doing a song that's basic like this one and learning it, you want to start with the basics. So let's see if we can work that through. Stop so that the YouTube algorithm, YouTube AI does not come after me. But what you're hearing now, this is a generic song. Nothing wrong with it though. It's just that for a lot of the music today, you don't hear no bass in the background. You don't hear no drum blaring notes. The lead is singing a style of music that you would normally hear from a senior choir. And in looking from the era of this music, I'm going to say it's got to be early 60s maybe, just looking at the album cover. So you've got the Day I Was Converted. There's that flat 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flat. That is your jazz tone. Why? Because it's going to take you to the 4. I never know the skill level of those who do request breakdowns from me. So the majority that I have been experiencing is that they're in the number system world because that was what was presented to them. I was never, as a youngster, presented with the number system. I was presented with melodies, chords, passing tones. So when I listen to songs, I'm not listening for numbers. I'm listening for where's the melody going based upon the key it's in. and what chords are they assigning around the melody. So when they get to that 5, that's what I want to hear. The 4 to the 1, 5, 1, 7, 6, 2 is flat 7. Now when I say a flat 7, is that if you look at the major scale, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flat, it gives us that C7 chord. And you can do another flat 7 on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flat. 1, flat 7, 4, and the augmented chord, which is a major chord, half a step on the 5th note, comes to become an augmented chord, or in this case, let me see, I want to call it the whole tone chord. Whole tone. There we go. Once you get the scales ingrained in your head, you're going to see where chords are built on particular scale. Okay, let's listen a little more. YouTube, fair use. All right, so it continues there. Let's see what's a little ahead. The chords are repeated.
Lord, I'll never forget it, and I never shall regret.
Okay, so there's a chord change there. So there's a verse there. So and I can hear that change. So what you're listening for, bass line chords first. How many times? I got 2 cameras here. Remember, this is a live one. How many times are they going to be repeating those chords in the context of the song? So when something changes, what you want to listen for now is the change. So let me back up a little bit and hear when that change came in.
He that love the Lord, and let your joy be yours. Lord, I'll never forget it, and I never shall regret. Was the greatest experience my soul ever had. I can't forget it. Oh.
So now I'm hearing all of the additional chords because it's only just an organ playing. So I'm hearing all the other chords that are now being presented in this song. So from the verse 10, they're going to the 7th chord, the 4, and this time I can hear that minor. And when I say minor, there's the minor, major, minor, but they put that minor on the 4. So when you look at the number system, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's the major, but there's the minor. But they're using this chord, which means they're borrowing from the E flat family, right? E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flat. And you will find that a lot of songs of this era, you got the song based upon the skill set of the producer. So if the producer only knew this chord and this chord and this chord, then that's what was put into the song. As just like when, and I'll just digress a little bit. Welcome, Jeff. when Thomas Dorsey began to be accepted in the church world, he brought in that R&B sound of chords. So like songs like I see the song in my mind, trying to remember the title. It'll come to me. But all of his songs had these same chords, but it had passing tones in between those chords. It's going to come to me. The Tommy Dorsey song that everybody sings. It's in E flat. What is that song? It will come to me. And my era of understanding a lot of these chords was from when my father played as a musician. He would use a lot of those chords, especially these chords. I can still hear he still plays today. He still uses these chords today. When I heard them, I said, okay, I hear what it sounds like. I had to go pick it out. But then as I became indoctrinated into the big band sound as a jazz musician in a jazz band in high school, I'm like, well, you know, there's more to this chord than just that minor. I want to open it up. So now I got the chance to sort of add more to the to that particular sound. All right, what was I? That minor song chord. They went to the 3, but put a 7th on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, flat 7. Did they stay minor there, or did they go a major on the 6th? Let me go back and listen. Back a little more when they made that change.
And I never shall regret, was the greatest experience.
What the? That would have been a correct change, but they went. Okay, they went that way. They went which is what, again, I'm trying to think past or above what I can hear. Once I go back, I go, wait a minute, he just went from the flat 7 to get down to the 6, where I would have won 7, 3, 6. That's the direction that I'm comfortable going in, but sometimes I got to stop and listen so I can give it the correct interpretation of the chord. Let's go listen again.
And I never shall.
Wow, that's why it threw me off. That is not the direction I would go in. But again, songwriters of that era went with what their skill set gives them.
Forget him, and I never shall.
I can hear the G flat. Now, did he stay major? Let's listen.
Regret.
Okay, so again. I heard a minor on the 6, which is the traditional number system chord.
Shall regret was the greatest experience.
Okay, we'll go with the minor. 1, I'm gonna call it a flat 6. 6, 2, to the 1 with a 3 though. No, 5. This type of music, once you understand its path, you begin to build chords around it. I don't want to miss anyone who may have come in, so I gotta stop every now and then and take a look. See what we got.
My soul.
Okay, so we're doing adding a little more to it for our viewer.
Never had, I can't forget it. That morning I stepped in the water, sure wanted to be baptized. Everything was so beautiful down by the waterside.
All right, what changed it? This is the verse part. They threw a chord in that. Let's see. Now they're using the circle of fifths in there. Let's see what fifth they put in there from the one. There's 5, 1, 3, 4, 5. That's where it's going.
Down by the waterside.
And my father still uses that chord. That chord is synonymous with the early gospel sound. Let's pick it up from there. All right, so that's where we are.
Baptizing in the name of the Father. Baptizing in the name of the Son. Baptizing in the name of the Holy Ghost. It was all over and done. Was the greatest experience.
All right, so that's what I'm hearing now. It's almost a jazz, it's like a jazz piece, to be honest with you, where you're working off what the lead is doing. There is no, there's no template. So cycle of fourth or fifth, and then there's your jazz diminished chord, and we'll go back to where that jazz came in right there.
Baptizing in the name of the Holy Ghost. It was all over and done. Was the greatest experience my soul ever had. I can't forget it. No, I can't forget it. No, I can't forget it.
All right, okay, so the choir comes in, and this is not your traditional, it's not your traditional choir. Not real three-part harmony, but it is the sound of that era of music. Let's hear what else is going on.
No, I can't forget it. No, I can't forget it. He saved my soul. No, I can't forget it. No, I can't forget it. No, I can't forget it. He made.
All right, so then our organist is going. We got sopranos up here. Just my pedal that. So we got a seventh in there, but we got a minor also in there. Both are acceptable. Switch between the two or stay just on the one for this type of song. So those are your chords coming near the end of the song. Let's see what else we got.
Me whole. No, I can't forget it. No,
how all the sopranos become altos once they find out the higher note it hurts. So now we got everybody here now. We're told that, again, this was the early gospel sound of church music, not the studio, but in your local church. Which again, I was there during that time. It was I won't use the term magical, but you can almost feel everybody becoming singular in purpose versus today where everybody's got their own microphone and doing whatever they do. So your chords are being built again around the major scale, around the seventh note. Expanding the chords out again will help you get a more feel for this song. Let's see what's coming up, because now they're just in a repeat mode. Let's see what we got.
I can't forget it. You know, I can't forget it. No, no, I can't forget it. No, I can't forget it. No, no, I can't forget it.
Yeah, I'm used to this. So and for the viewer who requested this song, if you're teaching this song, keep them in the same vein of this. Don't try to sanitize the song to the point where you take away their ability to start to feel a song like this. Music wise, I can always work around this just finding notes. That's what I would what I would do. Give them a place to land their vocals.
No, I can't forget it. No, no, I can't forget it. 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 It is experience my soul ever
So YouTube will come after me on this one, but that is okay because this helps hopefully will help the requester get a feel for this type of music. All right, let's see who's next on. We got to welcome Jeff for coming in again. We do have others who are probably haven't gotten the. Why am I not seeing? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm looking at my microphone. It is not giving me a good strong signal. 1, 2, 3 testing. Okay, I may have to upgrade this lapel mic or the secondary battery. Okay, that looks like it's louder now. I raised it. Sorry if my vocals were low. I tried to monitor from my iPhone. Of course, when I got the headphones on to listen to the music, that cuts that out too. But yes, so this song, very generic in nature, but I've given you some chords. This is for the viewer who requested it. That will get you a little more comfortable with props with some of the more upgraded chords. But it's a good song. Good song. Going back to in fact, if you want to see, that's the song which I used. So we'll go back to our list and let's see who else I did not get to. Someone wanted me to break down a video I did for my hot chords of Come Thou Fount. And Amos 9439 has been a long time viewer and requester. So I'll cover it real quick because it is a traditional hymn. Come thou fount of every blessing. E flat or G, it's in E flat, so we'll do just, and we'll touch on both. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. It is a traditional hymn, which is just the major scales, and then you can add appropriate chording around it. Now, what happens is when you're doing a hymn, what you don't want to do is to make it unrecognizable by throwing in a lot of what they call the fat chords. Keep it traditional, and then every now and then throw a little bit of spicing in it. To the key of E flat is where we go. Now, I am I use the term connoisseur of the hymns, in that because of its pure nature of its chords, they're not really riff happy with chords. I love to be able to manipulate notes and chording around hymns. Some musicians like to feel that if they change the chord sound, it'll upgrade the song, and I've been one that, again, keep it somewhat fat free so that those who know the song can recognize it. Key of E flat is where the song is found, and as you often say, if you understand the nature of the scales, you will find the melody and then build chords around that. Come thou fount of every blessing. I can't remember the words. So right there I hear the major scale and the pentatonic scale. There's the pentatonic scale. Pentatonic scale. Melody with both hands. This way you train both hands to move. I have the pentatonic scale chords in my head. I have the generic number system chords 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which also contain the pentatonic scale chords in it. Why? Because it's all part of the major scale. So you want to find your melody and find your chords. 1, 3, generic 5, 3, 4, 3, 5, 1. Again, for the number system enthusiast. I talk to it. I don't teach it. I talk to it for those who do that. As you can see, I've given you the generic chords, the left hand being the assigner of the number system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1. That's how I look at it. The number system is the lowest note of that chord. Excuse me. Gotta keep my dress proper. Yes, I am repping Sound of Joy merchandise. I pulled this one out of because I've got some other ones that I wear. So I pulled this one out. You can get these on the Sound of Joy store by clicking the link in the description box, and you can see what I have there. I'm adding new stuff monthly. In fact, I'm already now planning on what am I going to put there for the Christmas season. Yeah, I had a different shirt on before I put this on, so I didn't look to see that it's covering me correctly. Can't look sloppy when you're on live and on the replay. So in building the chords around it, now you see the generic chords. So when you want to go outside of that just a little bit, you can go to the 7, 6, 3, 4, flat 7, 6, 6, 2, 5, 1. Only because I know the chords are there, I'm looking at the bass hand to match them up to the number system. But the chords, I can hear the changes. If I want to go classical, gospel, walk up, 5, classical, up the scales, 3, 5, 4, 1, 5, 3, 6. The chord I want. What is this? That's not the chord I want. I can hear chords in my head, then I got to go and find them when I'm in a different key, but that's okay. Oh, minor 6, 3. That's the chord I wanted to hear. 4, 5, flat 6, 5, sharp 5, 6, 3, 5, flat 7, 4, 3, 2, 5, 1. So, and those are the chords that you have to your that is available to you. And a lot of musicians are always wondering, well, what do I practice? On my channel, Sound of Joy, I have close to 3,000, probably 3,070 videos. I haven't looked at the last count. Each one of those videos are not the same. They're all different. You won't find one video playing the same chords because I have a varied audience of viewers. So some viewers that may stumble upon my channel, because there's so many now great channels out there. I actually subscribe to some ones that have more viewer count than I have, to see what are they teaching that I'm perhaps not. And they're teaching the contemporary R&B style of chords. I stay traditional, not because I can't play those other versions. It's because I choose not to, because somebody has to show how it used to sound in my day. So that is the record, or the legacy that I'm leaving, or the brand from the Sound of Joy channel. Yes, we can compete if I wanted to with what they're teaching everybody else. Let them have the other channels have their approach to certain songs. But for me, I like to be able to have choice, that I can say that I can do it traditional, I can do it the way the hymnal wrote it, I can do it the way it was done in early jazz, early gospel, early contemporary, classical. If I wanted to put it in the CCM mode, I can do that. I have a whole gambit in which to pick from. And I pick and choose in my head and go to the piano and then execute it. So that is it in the key of E flat, in the key of G. All of this is right here. See how close G is to E flat? All the scale does is give you the reference to where your notes are going to come from. Down the low part. get that whenever you repitch a song out of its normal, out of its out of its written composition, you've got to think now, if somebody was singing it, what vocals would be able to match the range of this particular song, which is almost, this is song is like an exercise in playing scales. Minor, there it is. Seventh, seven, contemporary. Gotta hear the chords. Da, 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 dum. Because I can hear the notes before I play them. All right, so that's for our viewer that requested a breakdown of Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. Let's see who else is requesting. Let's see, not many. Can I request In the Morning by Albertina Walker? In the Morning by Albertina Walker. Okay, those types of songs I got to be careful of because they get listened to by the YouTube algorithm. So let's change our look. Let's lower the volume there so you don't hear it. Okay, so there is no this was aired on Bobby Jones, so I got to be careful what I allow air on YouTube. Let's see if I can find one that's not on that's on an album production, and I don't just hear that one. Okay, so we'll go with the one from Bobby Jones. Okay, gotta make sure that that you can't hear it. Okay. All right. F. No, I heard the F key in there. All right. So these chords are contemporary. They are contemporary. I'll let you hear some of these chords because I can't let you hear all of them, but just the chords that we're going to work on. And again, these requesters, when you request, I need to ask. I probably should make it a requirement that you tell me your skill level, so I'll know whether or not you're biting off more than you can chew. We'll let you hear some of these chords. Let's go to here. YouTube fair use. You can wear it. All right, So we've got some keys. Let me change the Chordy app to the key of F, because these chords are, I don't want to say R&B, but that's what they are. Again, we're looking for the generic range of where these chords are going to be found. That's what I'm hearing already. And these chords are in the major scale. They're in the major scale. Every one of these chords are in the major scale. Every one of these chords. It's just a matter of knowing which notes not to play. All right, let's pick up a little more. We got.
It's song.
Now we're going to split note. Actually, in the major scale, right? So just again, just identifying where the chords are coming from. Let's listen some more.
Oh, I know.
All right, so there come the Hawkins chords. Let's see, did they use that one or the secondary one?
Oh, I know. That.
Ooh. There's a chord there that is not. That's what I heard. So if you don't have this reach, that chord is going to be hard for you to hear. But again, this chord is in the same. That's why I have everyone practice more than one octave. Because when you hear these wide chords, they're in the same scale. They're just widening it out because the musicians have bigger hands. All right, let's continue from there.
Joy will come. Somebody asked me.
Okay, so the classic 5, 5, 4. Again, these are the passing chords in the R&B world. Let's continue.
When will it come? In the morning.
So we're here in the 4, 6. Again, this is the 4 chord, 6 chord. That's where we stopped. Let's see what we got.
At the dawning.
So we came out of it. Changing one lower note changes the whole sound of the chord. The 4, now this is the 5, and then to the 1. So and again, for the viewers that request these type of songs, I'm going to have to and reply with where is your skill level, because these is a lot to be listening chords that to be picking up. Now I have so many series on this channel already that teach you how chords are built. I try not to teach an entire, or reteach, I should say, an entire series that I have already to help you understand that these chords are not mystery. They are built on scales. Let's see what we got. 'Cause I'm just 48 seconds into the song. It's a 4-minute song. I'm trying to cut this down to a quick review. Let's see what we got coming up.
Joy will come. Whoa.
All right, so that's where that comes from. Right in the scales. Let's go a little further.
Oh, Lord, you don't have to be.
All right, there's that turn. Now, this is in the same family of, that's the early gospel. This is the contemporary change. Still in the same vein, but they don't put that in there. Why? Because that's the old turnaround. This is the new turnaround. That's the old turnaround. But the new turnaround, there we go. Not here, but here. Again, I've listened to this. I was a part of the changeover as a musician. So when I started learning songs of this nature, I'm like, oh, okay, they just changed the note to sort of reharmonize it. Let's see what we got. Gonna repeat again.
Alone.
All right, so we covered these chords already. So let's go past a little more.
Self-pity.
Same chords. I'm looking for the change.
You've got to trust God and never doubt. I tell you that He.
All right, so we've got a, what do they call a bridge. Okay, let's hear that change over.
Self-pity, it may enter your mind. Lord, Lord, but this is what you have to do. You've got to trust God and never doubt. I tell you that He sure will.
Okay, there's the change over here. So this would be a 3, and yes, this chord is in the scales. And what change chord were they going to from here?
I tell you that He sure will.
Flat 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, flat. Because when you hear, when the major scale is a part of your psyche, the minute you hear a note that's not of the major scale, just think somewhere in the major scale they went flat or sharp. And it's just one note to find, not a whole series, just one note. And generally it's one note from the major scale that was added to the song to change a tonal feel for the song.
He sure will bring.
All right. emphasize a part of the song, and this catches the ear of the listener. To a musician, it's just another chord, but to the listener of the song, they're like, "Ooh, you pay attention to this."
Sure will bring you out. Somebody asked me.
So now that you're in this mode, I've never heard this song before, but I know the chords. I've heard the chords used in other songs. Let's continue.
When will he do it? In the
Now, again, for the number system users, they've changed the positioning of the lowest note, which is the number system identifier, but the chords are not in the number system chord family, but they are in the scale family. So this chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but it's a 2 chord. Which is why it's so important to learn both the number system and the scale system, because combine them both, you have music, in my point of view. How many have joined us? Again, I wanted to still let everybody know that I'm acknowledging you coming in and spending some time with me. Let's continue.
morning, at the dawning, great joy will come. Oh, yeah.
All right, so we've covered a lot of these chords already. I'm not going to, again, incur the wrath of the YouTube AI for hearing their music. Looking at the site that I'm getting this from. Because it's almost 3/4 done. So I've covered the majority of the chords you're going to hear. Let me hear what's coming up.
I'm a living witness.
Okay, we've covered that chord already. Let's go a little further.
In the morning, in the morning, in the morning.
All right, I know that chord. How did I go right to it? Because I play this chord. And it's a passing tone. 4, there it is. To the 3. And it's a tritone over a converted C, root, first, second, but with a 4. Again, these chords are the ones that were prevalent in this era of music. Let's see a little more.
In the morning, in the morning, in the morning, in the morning.
On the 6. So you got the again in the major scale, but one note it's not sharp, either sharp or one note flat. That give you that tritone turn, but they're turning on the 6. That is not a 6 chord in the number system, but it is a 6 chord in jazz. There you go. There's the jazz chord. forget which one this is. You will hear these chords all over the place. If you once you get a jazz footing for particular songs, that these chords are common in jazz. Because again, everybody borrows. So in this, for this song, the musician. That's why I said I like albums. Albums play the true song. These live settings, musicians can just go in and now pull the stuff that they like to play, because you can't stop them. They won't be taken out, and they do enhance the music when it is a live setting. Not too much left. Just doing a repeat. Let's see where they finish off at. All right, that's all I'm going to air. I'm sure I'm going to get caught on this one. Certainly, if I don't, then I'm living a blessed life. Let's go back to our requests. So that's for the viewer who requested the Albertina Walker song. Again, your skill set will determine whether or not you can grasp what I'm instructing you in, because these are not the traditional chords that you would hear in your Sunday morning song service. A concert, yes. Sunday morning, no. Well, at least not from my era. There's a lot of different things that they're doing now on Sunday morning. Okay, let's go back to our listing. And so we covered the Albertina Walker song. The last on our list is 21 hours ago. The Angelic Singers, If You Can't Help Me, Please Don't Stop Me, Move Out of My Way. And I've got it highlighted there so that you can see that is a request that came in 21 hours ago. So we're up to date. And I did listen to this song. It is up-tempo and jazzy. Again, the requester has to have a feel for what a jazz song feels like. And we'll let you air some of it. Again, staying within the fair use rules. I know YouTube is changing. They are changing some rules as to fair use, to where you cannot just air someone else's video and then don't transform it. So I'm breaking this up just a little bit so that the algorithms don't come after me for airing so many songs that's on the YouTube platform. That I have permission to break up and repurpose it. I'm repurposing these songs from a teaching standpoint, not to draw attention to my channel so people can listen to them. They can go for these songs themselves. So you're getting this commentary now to give space to what I do here on this channel. In fact, let me just help the YouTube algorithm hunters and give them some other music. So in these, when you're learning a song and your desire is to perform it, we use the term play a lot, but I always use the term perform, because when I was in the band, we didn't play music, we performed. Everybody performed their part. If I'm in the middle, which is pretty much where I was here as the instrumentalist, then I had to be able to perform my part in the whole scheme of the music of the song. So whenever I'm playing, I'm hearing all the changes that would be in between where my chords are going. So when I hear a chord that I want to work around, and now I'm back to F. So I just went through all the scale 2-5-1s because I can hear where they're going to be located. Did I get them all? Did I get B major? I don't think I did. Did I get A major? No, I didn't. Did I get G flat? That was B flat. G flat is A flat, B flat. There we go. I'm breaking up the YouTube algorithm. If they're listening to the channel, they're getting some different chording that they hopefully will space out the way how they monitor. But I can hear the changes once I change the key, depending upon the path where I want the song to go. I always used to use Mary Had a Little Lamb as an example of how you could just take a very basic melody and then put some chords around it. If I wanted to go to E, I go D flat. Mary had a little lamb, because I know my scales, I know that Mary Had a Little Lamb starts on the third note, whatever key I go to. If I went to E major, if I were to go to A major, I know C sharp is where it's going to start. So that's what scale understanding teaches me. Once I know the actual scale a song is in, then I listen for the identifiers. Where's the melody starting within that scale? Now, if it starts off in a minor, that's going to let me know that one note change. Now it's going to be in the minor. Now all the minor, your diminished tones now open up to me. Okay, if it's in the minor, you know it's going to be some diminished tones. But if I here go a major, well, it's going to finish in the minor. And what is A minor but C major? Which means I can now borrow some of the same chords I would do in C. Go major. Only because I have an understanding, and I apply that understanding anytime I sit down to play and I go to learn a song. I apply the basic understanding of the scales, what it sounds like, and if it changes, which scale are they changing into. All right, so let's go to the next song. I think I've confused the AI enough. Let's just pull it up, the angelic choirs. Now I'll add some of this one because this is so that when I talk to a particular style of music, I like to be able to identify. Now this one, there's no, I gotta be careful with this one. This is a Malaco YouTube link, which means that it is monitored.
Want to glow up? For your phone? With Verizon, everyone gets a free phone.
I should have shut that off so that the ad does not play. So let's mute this. Okay. My bad. All right. All right, let's go up to the music. There's a lot of conversation before the music starts. All right, so we'll get the intro in there. I'll let you hear that so we can see how I search for the key that it is in. Give me a chance to, because I'm only working on one screen. Okay, unmuted. So this is where I'm starting point for the intro. Here we go.
As long as I know that I'm pleasing the Lord. And I wrote this little song for the...
Okay, where's the intro at?
Help me.
It's a quick intro, but our scale notes are in there. So. D. So D is our scale because she opens up playing the root key and it's the older woman playing the keyboard or playing piano, I think it is. So she starts it off with that run, and this is sort of like quartet, which is jazz to me. So D major. pentatonic scale is where she's in. Try to hit higher note and lower note. Let's continue. Six, 5, 1, 1 to the 6. Remember when I said when you hear that it's a minor chord, that's a minor, B minor, B major, B minor, which means now you are free to go get the chords that would have followed this path. And this path is D major. Same notes in D major, change the root note, you have B minor, which means your notes are right there.
You can't help me. Please don't stop me.
All right, so that's what I'm going to air. Are we in B minor or are we in D major? Yes, we are in B minor and we are in D major because they're both the same scales, which means you're borrowing the chords from them in this type of song, which is sort of a quartet jazz feel, and the chords are usable. That's the major scale for D minor, D major, and these are the scale for B minor. So the same chords. Six, 5, 1. They're right there. No need to go searching for these chords because they're right there underneath your fingertips. Let's listen a little more.
Move out of my way.
And there's our 4. For the viewer who requested this 21 hours ago, as of this live podcast, understand your chord structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where your chord is coming from. Look at the inversions. 7, which is a diminished chord, and then back to your 1. So you're going to look for your 1 inversions, your 6 inversions, your 4 inversions, and your 1 inversion. So those are where your chords are coming from. So if you practice chords in every key, as I instruct on this site, and inversions, then you will be able to hear where these chords are coming from. There's no mystery here. They're right there underneath your fingers, which is the scales. Which is why I always stress you play the scales correctly. Why? Because then your fingers will know how to line up. Right there.
Don't try to block me. I got a race to run. And I'm running by faith. At the finishing line, I see God's face.
So there's the 2, 5, 1. 2, 6, 2, 5, 1. 5, 6. There's your B major, right? Your 2. Now, are we back in E major? There's a note that's different. So now that's our 2, which is E major. That's how we can hear that chord. Now we're back in our our D major. 1, 4, 1. So for our viewer, that's where your chords are coming from. They're underneath your fingertips, which is, once you practice the scales, underneath your scale notes, using your correct fingering, is where your chords are found. It's just a matter now of adding movement, which is the jazz tone. Welcome, Loyal. How are you doing? Howdy. So for this type of song, as you can hear, there's movement. This is a live setting, which means usually when it's a live setting, musicians are free because you can't stop them once the song gets started. They can throw in whatever they want to. So I can hear the jazz movement of the bass player.
If you can't help me, please don't stop me. Move.
And there's the walk up. Gospel and jazz are synonymous with each other. Why? Because as the gospel sound began to emerge, mixed with jazz, these major and minor chords in the different sevenths became synonymous. There were no longer separation. They were now married to each other. What's the change? Flat 7. Flat 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. So the chords are not hidden. They're just right there. It's just a matter of knowing from a scale standpoint where they're being picked from. Let's see if there's anything different we can hear.
Move on out of my way and don't try to block me. I got a race to run.
Okay, so now we're still in the same family. So, and again, what you want is to hear the pattern. Once you hear the pattern, you know what chord fits what pattern, and knowing that in this type of a thing, or this type of a setting, if it's not a studio recording, that it can change according to the musicians at that time. Because again, you can't control musicians in a live setting. You can control them in a studio setting. If they don't play the chords you say, they don't have the gig anymore. They bring in the person who will do it. But in a live setting, once the musicians are on the loose, they can go. They're free to do all of that. And that's not saying that all of that is in this, but as you can, what I want to be able to express is that musicians control a live setting. When it's a studio, the producer controls what goes on music-wise, what happens in the studio setting. And I have to have conversations so that I can break up airing music that I don't have permission to use. So it's now I am repurposing it from an educational or instructional standpoint and transforming what we're listening for my channel for education. All right, let's listen to a little more. I'm only 1 minute and 42 seconds in, which means it's going to repeat a lot. They may change 1 or 2 inferences of the chords. Let's hear what the change is. Okay, well, let's hear the end of that.
I've been running for Jesus long time, running both night and day.
All right, so now we're getting a traditional quartet feel. Been running for Jesus for a long time. The one, I've been running for Jesus for a long time. I ain't got tired. Did she go to the 2 to get to the 5? Let's see. I believe she did.
I've been running for Jesus long time, running both night and day.
Okay, so 2, 5. This is the quartet change, which is jazz. The 1, 5. And the 2, again, is the E. So you're looking at the E major scale. There's your chord that you get your flat 7 in the E major scale. And then to the 5. And when I say circle or cycle of fourths and fifths, that is jazz. This is where jazz and gospel musicians began to collaborate. Well, where do you want the song to go? Oh, here's a quick way to get there. 1, 2, 5. The jump from 2 to 5 is a circle of fourths going up. If you're going down, it's a circle of fifths. So the 1, 2, circle of 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Circle of fourths, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can go from up 4 or go up. Let me see. 5, 2, there's the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, judging upon whose scale you're using, I was using the major scale, but really the jazz, there's a scale that I learned about watching YouTube. There's a jazz bebop scale, which has that flat, bum, bum, that is the bebop scale. Again, I could be wrong because I got to go back and educate myself. But all these scales help you see where they're getting their chords from. So when I say a flat 7, it means it's a major scale that has a flat 7 dominant in that scale to give you that tone, which is this, or the tritone. All right, I have to talk in order to defeat the algorithm. All right, let's pick up from here where the change took.
I don't have time for idle.
So this is the walk up. So we came from 1, 3, 4, and we finish it out.
Talking might cause me to lose the race.
So the 5, 1. Could go the minor or major, but this song will have the minor and end up on the major. All right, let's see what we got.
If you can't help me.
And we'll go back to, and we're back to the 1. So let's go ahead a little bit because they do that twice there. Let's see, there's a vamp. Let's see what we got.
Running my face at the finishing line. You can't help me.
Okay, so now that they're back into the back into what we already covered, and there's not much more to cover. Again, this is a live setting, which means that they are timed. They're on stage for a certain amount of time, so they're going to keep repeating it and use up that time that they have allotted to them. This is the 5-minute song. We're at the 3-minute and 35-second mark. If I jump ahead to 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
Please don't stop me. Move.
So the same chords that you heard that I covered in the first part of the song. So, and for the viewer, again, who requested this, those are the chords that are apt that you can apply to this song. I'm measuring my M4 Mac Mini because when I run OBS, it overheats it. I didn't realize that was an issue until I said, wait, why is this computer look like it's overheating? I had actually heard the actual fans kick on. I said, I've never heard a fan kick on any of my M1 products. And I said, oh, it's burning up. That's why. So it's a little warm. but it's good. We're not going to be on for 4 hours as we were the last time. So again, those are all of the viewer requests that we have. For those that are watching, again, I do appreciate you coming in, because your support is something that is rare for a lot of the YouTube content creators. I know we have people who have much larger platforms than I do, who have been out here for a short amount of time. I'm approaching, next year will be my 20th year on YouTube, and when I look back at the older first-time videos, I go, wow, pioneer in one concept, but probably some of the worst sounding videos that I've ever heard, still being watched. Because as I go to the older videos, I'm allowed to see, are there people still viewing them? And when I still see people still viewing them, I sort of cringe. I go, gee, they got the early videos off of a, wasn't a webcam, didn't have even a audio amplifier, it was a camcorder, a digital camcorder. So you had somewhat stereo sound coming, microphone pickups, but you heard all the noise around it. And it wasn't a direct feed from the keyboard into the video. So, and then I was airing, whether I was editing the video through Microsoft Movie Maker back then. So not this sort of processing that you see right now, certainly not what you're seeing right here. But the one thing I did appreciate, that I held true to what I said. Hey, Sub-Zero, welcome. Thanks for coming in. I held true to what the purpose of what Sound of Joy was supposed to do, was to not hide my chords from anyone who wanted to know what chord was I playing. Of course, the Chordy app makes it now possible for me to not have to go thumbing through a book to tell you what the name of the chord is, but you can actually see that on the screen now. So there's been some major upgrading. Yes, if you're looking at this, this is my headphones for my Xbox. There we go. Pull that up. There we go. That's my Xbox headphone. I don't talk on it, but I do listen to it. When I need a break from what I'm doing here, I play, right now I'm playing one of the golf programs. I think it's 2023 golf. That sort of takes my mind away from all these chords, listening to music, trying to dissect it in my brain before I put it on, before I play it on the keyboard. All the content creation that I do, and of course the lessons that I am currently involved in learning how to use Logic Pro and the audio software that I use to create music with. I got up this morning and there was a birthday welcome on the birthday list on my on YouTube, not YouTube, what am I trying to say? Birthdays on Facebook. And one good friend had celebrating his birthday. He's a pastor or co-pastor. And I said, well, gee, you know, everybody's saying happy birthday. Let me create a quick birthday song for him using my AI singer. So within an hour and a half, 2 hours, I had a whole song composed using ChatGPT to give me some additional lyrics. And I was able to put 3-part harmony to down through the years. That is what the technology has. I've watched technology grow to this point where if I want to create something, the minute I think about it, I can sit down to my computer, map it out, map out the chords, map out the vocals without having to call anybody, without having to hire anyone. That's where technology is right now. Because again, I try on this podcast, I always try to interject what I'm doing from a technology standpoint. Yes, I have tried the site called Suno, and I'm impressed. For those who are not, who are saying that, well, the music has no soul. Well, I mean, music is only digestible to the person listening to it. A musician will always look for a particular sound if they're not playing it, if someone else is playing it, to see whether or not they can recognize what that person was feeling at the moment. But because today's music is layered with so many patches and so many other sounds, even I have to stop and go, oh, okay, what would it sound like if they didn't put all those layers of music around it? Would it sound differently? And why do they need to have all these layered sounds on, and then detuning the sound so it doesn't sound like when you hear me do any kind of lesson, I'm using straight piano. I don't use pads to be able to lengthen the chord, because I want you to hear what it should sound like. Number one, clean sound. And if anything, I'll use the actual sustain pedal to hold a chord so I can go to the next one versus having the entire chord become dead space. But, and again, that's my error. This error today, if I wanted to use pads, all I gotta do is go into and select a patch that has pads attached to it, and I can have pads too. But I like to, I like to doing things the hard way. Let me build it versus having it pre-built for me. But for those who are here, still here, I believe we have 5 that are viewing. Let me acknowledge those that have come in already and have spent some time with us. It's always, as I say, a pleasure having guests come in. So we've had Darius, Jeff, Loyal, and Sub-Zero Euro so far, the last to come in and comment. So again, I want to thank you all for coming in. We come to a close. We come to a close. I may look at doing some Sunday live streams, sort of the end of the day. Maybe see if I can catch some musicians who might still be on their musical high, and sort of hear, well, what songs did you play today, and let me see what they sound like, and if I could perhaps give a little more seasoning for a musician who has played out, who have played out so many different songs. And again, these CCM type songs really have you restricted, I often say, into going out into other tones to use, because then you'll mess up the song for the person singing it. They're used to hearing a 4, a 5, and then a 6, versus using the gospel path where they borrow from the different passing tones to get to the 6, versus just playing a long 1 and then going right to the 6. So I may look at experiment with that. As I say, I'm retired, so I have nobody I have to look at in the morning and punch a clock. But I want all the musicians to understand that if you don't plan how you want your life to be when you get to this stage, I'm 69, going on 70, and I can still run up and down the stairs without no pain. I'm still overweight according to my doctor, and I will agree with him, because sometimes I've got to alter the clothes I put on so that it doesn't feel too tight. But I can still do my push-ups. In fact, I'm going to probably go outside before it gets too dark today and shoot some baskets, just to keep the wrist, as they say, free. I'm one of those 3-point shooters from the early days, because I wasn't tall enough to play inside. So you couldn't go, when you were being checked, as they say, defense couldn't go past the 3-point line. So I developed my own way of hitting threes, jumpers from out there, forcing people to have to try and wait for they would wait for the rebound. I got good enough to be able to say all day, swish, swish, swish. So I need to go out there every now and then as I get older and reminisce those days. Maybe not play for the hours I used to, but put in a good 20-minute workout, sink about 20, 25 baskets, and then come back inside as I should, and go through the internet and see what I've missed. So again, thank you all. I used to end these lives with playing some music. I haven't done that in a while because I've been on for, I think, 4 hours. Well, not even 2 hours yet. So let's see if I can pull a song out of the past, and we'll use the Chord Chrome, which is what you see there, and let you reminisce some songs with me. In fact, I'd like to pull that one out. I can go to God in prayer. That was one of my early videos. Again, we have the Sound of Joy merchandise. Let me move that out of the way. There we go. These are, okay, it's over here. Camera's reversed to me. These you can get if you want to patronize this site and keep me encouraged. As you see, the picture below has the hoodie, blue hot flow hoodie now. But these shirts, I just put a new series up, and hot chord series is up. Like I need to order myself one of the hot chord mugs so you can see me drinking out of it. And let's keep that right here so you can still see the shirt. And gives you a chance to put some more different attire that you can use in these hot weather days and support me and support this work. So I Can Go to God in Prayer. It's one of the earliest songs I had on the beginning of this channel. I haven't redone that song yet. So key of D flat, and I may put that on the schedule of the AI songs that I'm doing. Makes no difference what the problem. I Can Go to God in Prayer. Let's see if we can find a drum patch that'll have me that speed I would need for this type of song. Okay, that's not the patch I need. Give me a chance to find a drum track on the Chord here. It's not as easy as it is on the one downstairs. What I want is you can't see what I'm doing. Let's see if I move this out the way. You can see what I'm doing. Searching for a pattern that has a shuffle. That might work. That's too fast. Change that speed. Let's see, a little shuffle to this. Just checking for a beat that I can get comfortable playing. Okay, this will do. Perfect. Okay, that will do. So I found one. And we'll put you guys. That may be a little bit fast. I'll slow it down. But I like that tempo. Okay, let's slow it down just a bit because some people might not be able to keep up with my chords. And now this keyboard is designed to anticipate where my chords are going to give me that crash. You see, you don't hear the crash coming in because it's waiting for me to play. There's my crash. goodness. And this old 2012 keyboard is still, it still works. All right, so thank you all for watching. That's our closing song. As I said, I may go live tomorrow. Don't hold me to it though, because sometimes I do get caught in videos, especially the ones that are teaching me how to use some of the software that I've been investing in. Thanks to you supporting this channel by sharing, by viewing. You make it possible for me to be monetized, and that monetization allows me to go and invest in software like Ecamm, which I pay the price for. Just had an update today. I'm not sure what changed. I have to go look to see what changed on the update. But you make it possible for me to go live like this and to keep current. I want to get a better camera here, but this one is functional. I think I've had this camera for the last at least 6 years. I've had this camera. I won't throw it out wide because it still works beautiful, giving the proper lighting. As you see, I'm up in Studio B, so I got my wife's clothing in the background, and but I did put an air conditioner in here, which is a good thing. I got lighting, natural lighting, which is good for my vitamin D, and it's comfortable. It's not as spaced out as it down in the basement, and I'm not fighting the bugs I normally fight down here. That fight, I don't have that fight up here. So, but again, thanks for viewing. Thanks for your participation. Those who participated, Sub-Zero, you're still the last one to come in. So we thank you for being our last commenter, and look forward to some more streams. I do enjoy doing this, and keeping it to 2 hours, which is where it is now, I think is good for me, because my throat is not worn out like the 4-hour streams that we have. And for those who are still watching on the Facebook page, thank you for watching on Facebook. As always, it's always a pleasure for someone to trust me enough to share with them what I know, so that they can also continue in this path of not just a church musician, but as a musician. As you can see, my hot chord summer, we're not just doing church chords. And that's not even the tip of the iceberg. There are chords that I haven't put there yet. So stay tuned. So share this channel, not just this video, but this channel with everyone that you know. Now, don't hide it from them. And let's all grow in music and technology together. Sam Tobert, Sound of Joy Music Services. Thanks for watching. Be blessed.
The Jesus in me loves the Jesus in you. The Jesus in me loves the Jesus in you. So easy, so easy, so easy, so easy to love. Than you, the Spirit in me loves the Spirit in you. So easy, so easy, so easy, so easy to love.
Well, we got a late request. Here I am closing down the stream, and Foreign Productions, thank you for coming in. I think you're a new viewer. At least I haven't seen you here in the past, so of course I couldn't end the stream when a new viewer comes in, or one I have not recognized in the past and has a request. So, tutorial on Kevin LeVar, Here I Am. Again, a lot of these songs are new to me, but the concept I teach is that if I can hear the song, I can learn it within minutes. So, Here I Am, Kevin LeVar. Do a little housekeeping here. Okay, if I can't air the song, we're not hearing what it sounds like. Okay, so it's 10 years old. Okay, let's take this one right here. I'm listening to the song to get the key it's in, because it's not starting in the root key. I'm waiting for the root key to come up. Okay, there's our key. E. All right, that's what was throwing me off. It could have been G, or it could have been E because of the opening chords. It is a early CCM song. Let me see what I can bring up. It's an early CCM song. I'm going to be able to show where I'm going to be going from. Okay, so this is the song. Early CCM. So what happens with these type of songs is that we're hearing the infusion of the CCM style, which is the number system, but still holding on to the contemporary gospel patterns. Let me see if I can. Would I say this is? It could be G. I have to listen more to the song. We'll go with E though, because it's in E minor. From a chord standpoint. So before I let you hear it, let me just listen some more to the song, just so I can hear where they're going to resolve it. Let's flip back to here so you can hear what I'm going to be doing. All right, for our requester, so that you can get a feel for what I like to do. I like to take a song apart from its scale, because this song is in E minor. E minor scale, if you start in G, is the G major scale. This is why I instruct in scale learning, so that you can hear what scale the chords are being picked from. So I can hear the E minor, the E G major, the G major, the E minor. This is the Here I Am chords. The major scale for G, but the scale for E minor is there it is. Which is why on my channel I have did a deep, in-depth look at the number system major, number system minor, so that you could hear where they're getting chords from for any song that borrows from these two scales. So is it G major? Is it E minor? Yes, it's both. So let's go back to the beginning of the song so you can hear where my confusion was, because I like to be able to analyze the song's structure before I begin to play it. But because I'm now understanding where the scales are coming from, I've just sped up learning the song by 20 times. So let's see what we can air. YouTube fair use. This is the beginning. Okay, we'll stop right there. Highest note. Which scale is this in? It's in the A major scale, but also in the E minor scale. It's in both scales. So where are they going to get their chords from? To get that roll correctly. So this is what I do. I listen to it and I begin to deconstruct highest note to the lowest note. That's the highest note. Well, now the other notes are now, based upon what scale I pick, I find the other notes because they're in the scale. Again, hearing the highest note and the notes underneath, within the scale. So there's movement. There's the bottom note. I'm filling out the bottom, what I hear on the bottom. When those lower notes come in, now my hands are saying, okay, this is the scale it's in. Here are the notes in the scale. This is the notes that you can recognize. And they're rolling. And because I practice scales in every key, I know how to roll. And this for me, from my point of view, the only way that you can hear a note is if you've practiced it extensively first. All right, let's continue. So they're following the pattern. They come down. This is the early changeover from contemporary gospel to the CCM gospel. Continue. Scales. And I hear everything. That's why I stopped, because I can hear everything that's being played. And I want to go, okay, where do they go? They're still in the scales, just a different pitch. Okay, now they're doing contemporary. Why'd they go to C sharp? Let's hear the chord. Oh, the tritones. Again, the tritones is the contemporary. Sometimes I leave this stuff off, but I just want, again, because I hear it, I'm like, why are they going there? The bottom notes, I'm like, why? I got to hear the whole path. Sound like they got lost there. Okay, I knew where they want to go. They want to go back here. It's not registering. Where are they trying to go? Back to here. All right, again, first time here. So you're hearing, first time here. Okay, I got two cameras here. First time here. So you're now listening to what's going on in my head as to this chord changeover. Probably doesn't mean anything, but because I hear it, I want to understand what's in the mind of the composer or the producer that said, put that in. So again, this is what happens when you have so many producers of a song. Somebody said, hey, put that in, put that in, put that right there, because nobody's going to hear it but me. So now I want to hear, are they going here? Are they going here? I can hear that change, but this note, this chord change here is what's got my ears going. Did he make a mistake? Because if he just stayed here, if he had just stayed on that one chord, so that makes sense here. Did he mean to go up here, but he went here by mistake, but it was too late and they weren't going to redo the shoot. That's what my ears are telling me. A mistake was made right there. Let's see. That's where I would have gone. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I had it right the first time, but I just left it alone. That's what I would have stopped at. I'm letting that go because it's all right. All right, so it resolved into I'm now spreading it out, making it simple. Okay, that's spreading it out. So if we're in G, it's a 4, 5, 6. Minor, 4, there's a 4, 5, 6, just inversions. But if we're in E minor, which is the same thing as G major, then it's the flat 6, flat 7, 1. Let's continue.
Here I am, Lord. Here I am.
Okay. Minor 6, 4. This is the CCM sound.
Standing in the need of prayer.
Okay. 6, 4, 5. Back to the 6. Back to the 6. Which is why I say scales are so important, because I'm hearing the melody, unison, and then the chords underneath to support the melody. This gives me a template to go, okay, here's the template. Now, what are they adding to it? That's all the movement. No, they're not going there. They're going here. Staying the traditional or the contemporary. Yes. G major and E minor.
Standing in the need of
Okay. Both. G major. Did they go to major? We got the tenor voices. So let me know, did they go G major or did they stay in E minor? Well, they're both the same. Pentatonic scale, G. That's the G major pentatonic scale chords for the bass, for your tenor voicing. And that's how, for me anyway, I was able to help the choir director teach parts to any song, because I listened to the scale in which they based the choir singing on. And once I understood where it was coming from, oh, here's the tenor part, here's your alto part, here's your soprano part. Next. All right, let's listen a little more, because there's not much, these chords are centered around these three chord changes. So there's not much else going on outside of the turn chords. So not much to really work on yet, because the chords are centered.
standing in the
Okay, three-part harmony. And you got to have that bottom. And yes, on my side, I do teach you how to maneuver around chords in inversions, so that when you hear choir members or music go that way, your fingers will, muscle memory from just practicing will take over and show you how to get to those notes, because they're right underneath your fingers.
standing in the need of breath, Lord.
Tenor held a note there.
Standing in the need of breath, Lord.
Okay, that's the chord change. The bass note changed, the note held.
Here I am, standing in the need of breath.
Okay, that repeats, so you got those chords already. Let's go ahead.
everywhere. I pray that the Holy Spirit will hover over this sound and bring conviction to the hearts and the minds of people, oh God.
Okay, the chords stay the same. Let's go ahead a little more. I'm looking for a change now.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing. Thank you for listening, Lord. Thank you for listening, Lord. Those that are in need, if we call on you, if we call.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for, a change, because the chords are the same. The bass note changed on the chord. Let's see if I can hear it.
If we call on.
Right there. Again, up the scales. Is it the A? Is it the G, or is it the E minor? It's both. Let's continue.
If we call on you, you listen. You heard us.
Okay, so again, the bass players are. So there's our G major. Or E minor, because G major chord is in E minor also. Little gospel in there.
You heard us. You heard us.
Okay, we know these chords already. I'm just looking for a change.
It's me, Lord.
Still looking for a change because the chords we've already covered.
I need you, Lord. Lord.
All right, so here's my assessment of this song. 3 chords that are being manipulated around by the musicians. Choir's voicing will give you, are also built on those same 3 chords. Those 3 chords, E minor, C, D. The only manipulation is when the bass player changes his note in the different particular parts of the song. Sorry, my sock is getting caught in my sustain pedal. So practice G major scale. If you practice the G major scale, you are automatically practicing the E minor scale. Practice the number system chords of the G major scale, because in those same chords you will find the chords being used in the E minor scale. The same chords are in there. Those chords in the E minor scale are in the G major scale. Why? Because they share the same notes, just where you load the lowest note is. Your bass notes are going to be in the 4, the 5, and the 6. And it's going to go to the 1. This is the varying parts of the song. I often say when I do a breakdown for a viewer, go back to the song that I'm using and listen to where the notes are changing. The minute the note changes once from the pattern, you'll see that note is right there in the scale. It's just a matter of going to where it's at. And if you can't find it, play the major scale. The note is there. There's not much more I can talk to on this song. Hey, Elizabeth, welcome. Oh, well, no. I want you to be the best player that you're supposed to be. That's what I try to do. One thing I will not push is that you sound like me. I want you to sound like you. I was only the way I sound like everybody. I put it like that. When you see me breaking down a song, I want to sound like I was on the album, which means whoever was who played that piece, I want to articulate it like they did. So now I don't sound like me anymore. I sound like them. When I had so many songs as a youngster that I had to learn to play, I learned it well enough that I wanted to be on the album. That if you were to hear the album, you would have thought I was playing on it. As you saw me trying to break down, if you did, that those changes that were in the very beginning, I'm like, why are they putting C sharp? Because C sharp is not even in any of these two scales. But what chording are they putting around it that makes it sound strange? And I probably won't even go back to it because I would just change it up. And I think it was a mistake. Because in listening to the rest of the song, I didn't hear them go back to that key, that note at any time. That's why I say, you know what, listen with a grain of salt. Listen for what your vocals are doing and how you want to support the vocals. Well, in this case, basically 3 chords, for the most part, support the entire song. Let me see. And if you play classical music at all, or if you listen to classical music, that will help with this era of songs, because these are the chords you would hear in classical music. Let me see. I don't play classical music. I listen to it, and then I piece from it. This is not even the key. This is Fur Aloise, but I can hear the chord changes in Fur Aloise. Minor. E, D, G. Jazz. Diminish to the B major 7. Bum, bum, bum. There we go. This is where they threw that note in. I'm like, why did they throw that note in there? Or Moonlight Sonata. Bum, bum, bum. Bum. That's where I get my ability to roll notes from listening to classical music, especially the classical music that I happen to like. Those are 2 of my early classical songs I would hear played on television cartoons, TV cartoons. Bugs Bunny, when they would play those classical things, that's when I would run to the piano and try to figure out, well, what are they doing? It wasn't until I got an understanding of chords and scales that I said, oh, this way I can do it in any key. Pick a key and just do it. And get a little jazzy with it. go off in a tangent. Well, Foreign Productions. At any time you have a question about a song that you want to see if I can take a look at it, just go to any of my videos and leave a comment, and you'll get on my list. Again, I try to make this as, I won't use the word simple, because I struggled as a young musician with no one giving me even a book to look at to get an understanding. So I'm always recognizing that everyone did not struggle as I did and only had their ears to rely on. But when they went to the piano, they didn't know what they were doing, what they could retain, what it sounded like. So when you hear me, or see me rather, belabor over a piece, I'm listening from a perspective that I cherish, is to still be able to recognize single notes within a whole complex series of notes. Because as an instrumentalist, I could only play one note at a time, but I could hear everybody else's note being played around my ears. So when I start to dissect, I go, okay, let's eliminate this, let's eliminate that. Where's the highest note? What scale is it in? How long are they holding it? Now, what's underneath that note, which is all the other notes that should be found within major or minor scale family. And usually when I spend too much time on it, it's because it got me a little bit stumped. And that one change in the song, I'm like, wait a minute, why did they put that series of notes in this chord structure? I see where they're going, but why would they want to go? Even now, I still think about it. Why would you go from here? Why would you go here? Unless you're going to hold these notes. But they changed the chord there just to get back here. And in my ears, I'm going, okay, reference every song you've ever heard that had that phrasing pattern. Does it match up with anything that I've ever heard? And each time I go over it, even when I think about it now, I'm still looking at, I'm looking at the notes to see where they're going. I'm like, okay, those, what note should have been there to take me back here? And what have I ever used? So now that I look at it, I go, maybe he meant to go here. Could that be where they were going? That's where they were going. Okay. So the 1, 3, 6. Now I got to go back and listen to it. Was that the pattern that they put there? Copyright strike. Trying to find that note. Nope. got the underneath chord, so now I got to hear the lowest note to see what they would do on the lowest note. This is what I do. I want to hear the note that's underneath. It's perfect fourths. They went down. That part I got. It is the underneath notes. That's the second note. Tritones. I'm spending too much time on it, I know. One more. Look, listen for it. This is just to satisfy my ears. Not that important. Don't worry about it. The whole song does not rest on that because you only hear those chords at that point in the song. But musicians like to be challenged, and for me, I always like to believe that I can't play a whole entire classical piece looking at sheet music, but I can read the single notes, or if I hear somebody play it, I can go to the piano and hear what they were doing. And 100%, no, but I can be able to fake it. Those chords, they're not registering without me just maybe seeing it on sheet music, where I can look at it and go, okay, what are they doing there? Or in some cases, finding software that can take that piece and just give me a roundabout template of where the chord's going, or what notes can be recognized. But I think, Elizabeth, you're the last. Yes, you're the last one to come in. So again, welcome to the new viewer of Foreign Productions. Please subscribe so that you can keep up with not just the lives I have, but all the videos that I post to help musicians to better encompass this wonderful world of playing music. As you can see, I have a ball being challenged, even though I am retired and I don't have to learn any songs anymore, but I still have a ball doing what I did for so many years, being able to interpret songs to be able to help the choir director or directress teach it to the choir, and then sound like I was on the actual production. Trying to think, what are some of those iconic songs? Anything from the Kirk Franklin songs are easy. Donnie McClurkin songs, Kurt Carr songs, certainly Thomas Whitfield songs. Just to sound like Thomas Whitfield was a challenge for me, because he was gospel jazz, and then Richard Smallwood's songs was strictly classical nature. That's why you can see me here, the classical tones, because I would study the Richard Smallwood songs so I could sound exactly like him playing, even the cadence. Alex, this little name. I haven't played that song in so many years. Major, change over. Name minor. I haven't played that song in decades. But like riding a bike, once you start reminiscing what you went through to learn it without someone showing you a chord or a pattern or giving you an idea, you go, okay, how did I interpret the song? Oh, you missed a note, that change, you missed that change, put that change in there, slow it down, speed it up, and have some fun with it. Again, Sam Tober, Sound of Joy Music Services. I hope that those of you who are currently ministering for a church, that you have a great day on tomorrow. Probably didn't get a view a visit from our Austrian musician who plays over in the great country of Austria, but I'm sure he will see the replay and will leave a comment that he was watching. As always, make a joyful noise. That's what Sound of Joy means. Until the Lord. Thanks for coming in. Be blessed, everyone. Take care once again.
Spirit in me loves the spirit in you. So easy. So easy. So easy. So easy to love. The Jesus in me loves the Jesus in you. easy to love, so easy to love.